So Zikhona, in episode 1, we see you as Sithenjwa, I suppose serving the Akachi house and tribe. So just give us a background of Sithenjwa, where she's from, and what is her significance with the Akachi tribe in particular.
At the time when we meet her in episode 1, she's definitely just a servant girl, her and her sister Uzazi. We see them being these insignificant two little mice who just following orders, doing as they're supposed to the Akachi tribe. And they are two Chinis who come from a tribe of no royalty, really. It's just the tribe of servants, the tribe of normal, very normal, basic people, unlike the Akachis who are supposed to be great. At the time, that's all that we know. And so yes, it's Tendra alongside Ndiazazi, who is later then discovered to be Zazi's mother.
Yes. So okay, so the two of you are together. She becomes a Magi. She also becomes the love interest of the prince. What does that mean to you potentially, and the future of your lineage, with your Ndiazazi really taking up on this new mantle?
I mean, when she gets selected as the chosen one, like, I mean, it will always change things naturally for the better. But I don't think they all understood the might of what her new role in life is. But because of the current times, everybody knew that it's something that should be absolutely 100% respected. The might of it is not lost to anyone. That's why everyone loses it when she is. That's why Asili loses it.
Yeah.
When it is Ndiazazi who's chosen instead of herself. So let me put my phone on silent.
Okay.
So I don't disturb. Excuse me. So and then, you know, as quickly as Ndiazazi is now put into this almighty power, she then understands that she's about to lose the power. And when she then bestows trust to her sister to then take care of my child, because you understand what this child is if she is mine, it's also not lost on Sithenjwa and Ndubana. The seriousness of this is eternal.
And then Sithenjwa is supposed to take care of her niece, Uzazi, which really then makes me move to the next question. But I want to ask the next question last, because I want to go back to your child, because you have a child with General Toka. So just to understand, that is not scandalous in any way. There was no knowledge. That was out in the open. You guys had an open, not open relationship. Your guys' relationship was well known.
Definitely, their relationship was definitely not private. They got into a relationship. It's just that, as we know, you know, Toka is a very what's the word, ambitious man, and did what he had to do for his career, but it was not a secret relationship. He knew it wasn't a secret relationship. Actually, it was as public as we can imagine a relationship can be at the time. Nothing about it has been alluded to be secret at all.
But at that point, when Utuka set her free, what did she do that she no longer held the right to be a part of the land?
Look, if you remember the last time we did see her, she was trying to kill the king. She attacked him with this big dagger and promised him that she will kill him. All of this, of course, is because he's killed his sister. He's trying to sacrifice. I mean, he is killed her sister, and he is trying to sacrifice her niece. So it's a lot. The last time Sitibana Naye, she's highly emotional about the fact that basically you've taken everything from me and I will kill you. And so with that, you can't threaten to kill the king, obviously. and that's one about the last time we saw her. And then the king obviously then lets the general do what the general is supposed to do, which is to take care of this problem. And he did say it, if we remember back to episode 1, he said, don't worry, I'll take care of it. So it's a rock and a hard place, because it's, you know, the mother of his child, but it's also his complete role. As we've seen, Tuka doesn't play. His role is probably more important than love, I guess. So, and there he is having to now take care of the problem, and he decides to set her free.
Which I guess is, you know, when you, as a lover, I suppose that's the best thing you could have done.
I mean, we want to believe that, definitely, that it's probably a nice thing to do. Don't kill her, just tell her, don't come back.
So we were in episode 5, we've moved forward. Sithenjwa has now returned to the land that Akachi and all the different tribes have now occupied, but she returns beautiful, royal, regal, with the senator of Great Zimbabwe. Before we even speak about him and the purpose of that, in your head, you, in that world, you're the only one, from what we can see, you know what Great Zimbabwe looks like. So what does Great Zimbabwe look like in terms of your imagination?
And I mean, look, you know, I think the senator and Sithenjwa and their carriage and the soldiers are a great representation of what that land must be like. Extremely opulent, very robust, it's very unshy. It's very I mean, I remember on episode 5 and episode 4 actually, when the senator was speaking down on even the Akachi land, speaking about how even Zimbabwe wasn't supporting the Akachi land, then they probably would be down and out. And we're just here to officialize relations or cut ties or whatever it is that he is there to do, which we will find out as the show proceeds. But it's exactly that. It's, I mean, I want to argue that Sithenjwa is probably one of the only females wearing makeup at the time. So that's how ahead they are, because she's, you know, she's wearing, she's got gold all over. She's got a bit of a nail here. She's got a bit of like, she's got all the jewelry on, and it makes me feel and think that it's extremely rich. The first time we see them, their carriage is not being pulled by men like the Akachi carriage always is. It's being pulled by an elephant.
Yeah.
And the same elephant that the senator refers to as just a piece of flesh. We'll get another one, you know?
Wow. And you know, yes, the senator is quite a larger than life person, you know.
Boisterous.
You know he's entered the building, you know he's there, and it's so interesting. So I know we're going to find out much later on, or as the episodes the real intention of Great Zimbabwe, but currently they're attending a wedding, and also he wants to speak to the king. His current intention, yes. He approaches the kingdom. What does he specifically want to do as he comes there? Because he's been the Senate has sent him to come to the Akachi tribe.
Yes, he's been sent there by the world of Zimbabwe in order to just work on their relations, and it's country to country conversations, just to fix their relations, to fix their economics in a nutshell. To say, yes, we're not going to give you this. No, we're not going to. Yes, we're going to continue giving you water, but you need to give us this. And it's just to fix those relations. And currently, it sounds like he's like, there's no reason for us to come here because we don't get anything from them. It sounds like it.
Okay. So yes, you were saying?
It sounds to me like Zimbabwe has a lot more and a lot more that the Akachi world needs than vice versa. Sounds like Zimbabwe doesn't need much from Lecha's land.
Got it. Now it's been about close to 18 years, in fact, close to 19, almost 20 years since Sithenjwa left and Sithenjwa was banished. Now she makes a return. In terms of sentimental feelings, how does it feel to come back to, you think, okay, you're hoping to see your child, you're hoping to see Zazi. What is Sithenjwa's thought process during this whole time?
Oh my gosh, I can only imagine how it must be, honestly, to not be allowed back in your land and to be working all this time to make sure that you come back one way or another. and to find the most elite way of coming back. Because if you come back as just like a walker, you just get dropped off by a taxi, you're going to get killed. So you need to show up in a way that is going to be elite so that you're part of a VIP crew that can't be sent back. So she can you imagine how hard she worked to get to that position where she can be trusted by the senator, you know? And then that happens, and then she lands in her land and in her former world, in her former home, in her home actually. And she bumps into the man that she did have a child with. To me, I want to believe there's no music that was playing. If it was horror scoring music. First person she sees is Utata Mntanakhe, who was the same person who promised to kill her if she doesn't run.
Yes.
Yeah, it cannot be a walk in the park. The bravery that she has to just know that those are the things that she's going to suffer and still suffer them makes me believe that she definitely has a reason. It's like her reason of going home is very, very important, and we know that it is, which is ephemeral. Yeah,
definitely. And I mean, I could tell in the beginning that you and Madlamini were pretty close. There was a really special relationship that happened. And I can imagine it got severed, you know, when Sithenjwa had to leave. So if you can explain how the relationship was before she was banished and how you guys are feeling each other now when she sees it, because there is that one encounter. And, you know, with your character, we're still going to see what's going to happen coming up. But just when you encounter with Madlamini before and after, what is going on there?
Yes, they really were tight. Obviously, Madlamini is in charge of all the workers, all the servants. So Madlamini is like a mother to most of the people who are workers there. And Madlamini is a very fair woman, as we've seen. You know, she knows everybody's affairs. She's in everybody's private and personal business, invited. And so we see that glorious relationship. We see what happens. We see that Madlamini knows and she suffers what Sithenjwa is suffering at the loss of her sister, and at the threat of losing her niece. And now when we see her again, you know, it's that explain yourself. You know what I mean? When you see someone you haven't, you know, it's like when you hear from someone who hasn't called you for a week, you're like, hey, explain yourself. Why haven't you spoken to me? They have their reasons, and their reasons are very valid, and they are just about to tell you. But before they get to explain, you are met with complete cold, and the walls are so high. So maybe Madlamini must have been thinking, where did she go? I mean, but also Madlamini knows that she could have been killed. I think it's a bit unfair for her to not be at least happy to see her, because this person's supposed to be dead.
And that's what I was thinking.
She is
when we saw Madlamini's reaction, seeing Sithenjwa, I'm like, oh, Madlamini, you know her circumstances. You know what she went through.
Yes, Madlamini, you do know she could be dead. Like the fact that she's right here, right now. And then you jump straight to an assumption that, oh, she didn't die, she ran. And she didn't just run, she was having an amazing life. Here she is back in silk and gold. That's the tricky one-dimensional situation we bump into when these two women have that first interaction. And it's just so loaded. You know, that little secret conversation is so loaded, because the actual conversation I believe the women want to go is, what the heck went down?
Definitely.
You know, what is it? What's going on, girl? You know, that's what the conversation actually really is. And of course, I mean, these are women that have been doing I think for 18, 20 years, like you said, almost 2 decades or 2 decades. That means you're very solid in the thing that you're doing. You're rife in it, you know. Madlamini having raised this child under those conditions, Sithenjwa having lived in another land under whatever conditions, to come back as a side chick. Sorry to put it like that, but it is what it is. To come back is arm candy. There's a lot that you might have suffered. So most of the time when people are hurt, they don't have time to listen to what happened to you. You know, they just want to tell you why and justify how hurt they actually are.
Until the walls break down and we talk. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we will later get to see how your relationship develops with Zazi, with General Tuka, with Moruti, and with Madlamin, and with the senator, because I think you might be in trouble with him after you ran and saw General Tuka. But that's really, it's not a question, it's more of a statement. But what do you have to say about that with the General Tuka seeing or speculating or being suspicious of what happened that night, and what could possibly happen with Sithenjwa without being able to give the spoilers away?
I do think that you are right to assume that. I think she may be in a little bit of trouble because the senator's not taking it lightly. I mean, he's right there. He's looking. He's just like, who are you? You know what I mean? I'm bringing you here. You're supposed to not know anyone. Here you are pretending to be drunk. You're drugging me. You trying to fight. You know this land. You're looking for a person and there's a man. And it doesn't seem like he's friends with the general. Like I said, it's two egos that came in. They were just clashing at the time, the general and him. He's like, what? You know this guy? Intimately? Okay. Who are you? And why are you here? Nobody cheats the senator. So I don't know. It seems like it's gonna be a difficult one. But everyone is on a mission here. Everyone is just fighting for survival. It's just when I watch the show, I'm reminded of that a lot, that it's just a show of people trying to survive in such rife circumstances. Like life was not so Bluetooth airdrop load shedding. You know what I mean? It was insane. It's insane. You know? And then fighting for love in the middle of all of that. Imagine.
I do wish Sithenjwa the best, and I'm crossing fingers that
me too.
She comes out unscathed, unharmed, and yeah, we see the reconnection with her child.
Yes, her special child. They have special children, Sithenjwa and Zazi. They're very special children.
Now, when you accepted BloodPsalms, why and how and when? Why did you decide? Why did you say yes to this?
Leila Swart. Let's talk about Leila Swart. Leila Swart will have you saying yes to a lot of things. Let's just start there. She's just got this way. But also when she sent me when I got the story about BloodPsalms, I remember I was at home. I was in Mthatha, in the former Transkei, and the script came to me and I couldn't put it down. I was so confused. I was just, I mean, we'd had the conversation and then but eventually when I read it, I remember going, and at that time, the progression of the writing and of the existence of BloodPsalms was pretty prolific. Like it was already there. So I was fortunate in that I got to meet the show at the time where I could read up a lot, you know, and I got the character I got the story, I got the don't, and I was just blown away. I was just like, what? If I get to do this in my lifetime, then yes, it's a yes to me, you know. It's an obvious yes to me. I will do shows like BloodPsalms over anything, any day. It's just pure. It's a pure need and necessity. We have to.
That's a fantastic answer. It makes me want to read the script, just one script, because I'd love to like see how the world played out in writing. And who did you most enjoy working with?
I pretty much enjoyed working with the people I worked with. The conditions were very harsh. I'm sure you heard it was COVID, level 5, and I was pregnant, early stages of pregnancy. And it was a bit difficult and just finding my feet. That's what I remember. But I also do remember being blown away about being on the set, you know, with the great Muthusi, who's one of the best actors in the world. Should I light myself? Ooh, did that light make a difference? No.
There's a slight
That I
glow.
still will. I remember being obsessed with Muthusi. It was my first time working with Muthusi, who I believe is my best friend, even if he doesn't have my phone number. He's just my bestie. and that is still my Kanube, and everybody that was on that set, man. I consider myself a person who's worked with them, even though I didn't share a stage with them necessarily.
And you're actually making me think that your relationship with Richard was such a unique process because he was like deep in Swahili and you guys had to have the chemistry. I'm sure it was so much fun.
Oh, Richard. Like, you know, there's something very interesting about when you don't know a language. You always think that if you can't hear a person what they say, you must come closer to them and go, huh? I was constantly here. I should speak. I'd be like, okay, whoa. Whew. Okay, huh? And then he'd repeat it slowly and slowly. And I'm just like, I was just in his face. Seriously. And he was very tender. He working with him he just took care, like I was just like little, like he was taking care of me. Also, I was kind of sort of my soft, the most tender phase of my life. So yeah. He was very generous with that.
If you could describe BloodPsalms only in one word, what can you say?
Magical.
Magical. And I guess it is magical. It was a magical time. It still is a magical time. And it's so incredible watching the episodes week after week after week. And yeah, I hope we continue with the magic, with evolving with African storytelling.
I hope so too. And I think that because we did dare to attempt this one, that now people know that they must dare as well.
100%. Zikhona, you have been amazing, looking so beautiful. You are fabulous. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing what happens to Sithenjwa and just seeing Buruti and Zazi.
And her trifling man.
And her trifling man, girl. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Zikhona Sodlaka. We are on episode 5. That's halfway down the road. Make sure to continue watching BloodPsalms on Showmax and the conversations that are off the record, but on the record right here. Chat soon. See you later.